Kamala Harris's husband has been unabashed in his support of his wife during the 2020 presidential campaign. And given that he's set to become the country's first second gentleman after a historic Biden-Harris win, all eyes may soon turn to him. So just who is Doug Emhoff? Harris might represent the state of California in the Senate, but her husband Doug represents the East Coast in their marriage. Emhoff was born in Manhattan, but lived in New Jersey from 1969 until 1981, according to Asbury Park Press. And he points to his childhood as a big component of his life. After a Harris supporter posted a photo of a teddy bear named Dougie en route to New Jersey on Twitter, Emhoff tweeted back and shared his family history, pointing to his time in the Garden State. He wrote, "I approve of this wholesome content and happy Thanksgiving. New Jersey is still very much in my veins." Emhoff's family has remained in the mix as well. When asked about her in-laws, Harris told Asbury Park Press that their home state was still very much a part of their lives, saying, "They are in California now, but New Jersey is very much in them, in a very big way," unedited. After getting his undergraduate degree at California State University Northridge, Harris's husband graduated from the University of Southern California before jumping into the arena of entertainment law. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Emhoff started the bulk of his entertainment litigation at a law firm on the west side of Los Angeles. He explained, "That was my shot to not only build my own practice, but also to break into the field." One of his first breakout cases was representing Hollywood Video as the company had an accounting dispute with Fox. Emhoff went on to represent a significant amount of production and entertainment companies in the 1990s, and made a name for himself fighting for industry-wide late payments before branching out on his own. Emhoff opened his own firm in 2000, and it quickly rose in prominence. He spoke about his career as a lawyer in 2019 with The Hollywood Reporter, saying, "With all this other stuff that's happening in my life right now, it's great to have my practice, because it's something that I love and I'm good at." He and Harris really are a power couple. There was one legal case in particular that put Emhoff on the map. In the late 1990s to early 2000s, the Taco Bell Chihuahua was a tool for the food chain and was used in advertisements along with the saying,
"Yo quiero Taco Bell."
Emhoff's client, ad agency TBWA, was sued by Michigan company Wrench, which claimed that it had in fact been the brains behind the so-called Psycho Chihuahua used in the advertising campaign.
Yeah, drop that chalupa.
Wrench ended up suing on the grounds of breach of contract. The ruling went in their favor, and they were given $42 million as a result. Here's where Emhoff came in. After many appeals to the Ninth Circuit, Harris's husband was able to keep TBWA out of the drama, and Taco Bell ended up having to pay the money. Looks like he knows what he's doing. The story of how Emhoff and Harris met is pretty cute. As noted by Asbury Park Press, they were set up on a blind date while Harris was the Attorney General of California. The then-future couple was set up by a mutual friend. As noted by NBC News, Emhoff got Harris's phone number, texted her, and then called her the next day. Harris recalled in her memoir The Truths We Hold that Emhoff was intentional with his time, making sure they had the opportunity to continue meeting. She wrote, "The morning after our first date, Doug emailed me with a list of his available dates for the next couple of months. She later revealed that they dated for 6 months before she brought him to a work function with her. She admitted, I knew that if I brought a man with me to an event, people would immediately start to speculate about our relationship." Before Emhoff met Harris, he was married and divorced. He and his first wife, Kirsten, got married in 1992 and had 2 children, Cole and Ella. Kirsten herself is a total boss, much like Harris, so it's clear that Emhoff admires strong women. She is the co-founder of Pretty Bird, a production company based in Culver City, California. Emhoff and Kirsten got divorced after 16 years, and Harris was aware of her role coming into their children's lives when she and Emhoff started dating. In an article she penned for Elle, Harris pointed to how careful she and Emhoff were when introducing her to them. She wrote, "As a child of divorce, I knew how hard it could be when your parents start to date other people. I was determined not to insert myself in their lives until Doug and I had established we were in this for the long haul. Children need consistency. I didn't want to insert myself into their lives as a temporary fixture because I didn't want to disappoint them." Divorce and remarriage can be tough on kids, but Harris and Emhoff were careful with how they approached his children, and the four of them have bonded in a beautiful way. Harris wrote for Elle magazine, "Cole and Ella could not have been more welcoming. They are brilliant, talented, funny kids who have grown to be remarkable adults. I was already hooked on Doug, but I believe it was Cole and Ella who reeled me in." When Harris and her husband got married, the four had realized that the label of stepmom didn't sit well with them, given how close they all became. Instead, Cole and Ella agreed that the best way to refer to Harris was with the enduring nickname Kamala.
And certainly, Vice President will be great. But Kamala will always be the one that means the most.
Harris went on to describe a Sunday evening with her stepkids, saying that the weekend dinner time has allowed them all to fit into their roles as a family. She explained, "Cole sets the table and picks the music. Ella makes beautiful desserts. Doug acts as my sous chef, and I cook." According to the Washington Post, Emhoff had plans to ask Harris to marry him while they were on a trip to Florence. But he ended up blurting out a proposal while she was packing for the trip as they were deciding what food to order in. When Harris realized that Emhoff said he wanted to spend his life with her, she went into full-on ugly tears. She recalled, "These were not graceful Hollywood tears streaming down a glistening cheek. No, I'm talking about snorting and grunting with mascara smudging my face." The couple got married soon after at the Santa Barbara courthouse in California, in a ceremony performed by Harris's sister, Maya. When Harris announced her candidacy for president, Emhoff was extremely supportive, but he stayed in the background. That was until he literally leapt onto the scene and into the spotlight. Harris was on stage in June 2019 when an activist ran onto the stage and grabbed the microphone from her. Emhoff inserted himself in the situation and helped get the activist off stage. He later tweeted that everyone was fine and thanked supporters for the well wishes, saying, "I love Kamala and would do anything for her." The incident grabbed attention and put Harris's husband more in the spotlight than ever before, and he didn't return to the background. Just a few days later, he gave his first solo speech at the Democratic Party's Leadership Blue Gala in Florida, and he continued to prove that Harris's historic candidacy meant a historic role for himself, too. One operative who worked for Hillary Clinton told the publication, "I think we're rewriting the rules on presidential spouses. Historic candidates also mean we have spouses who can play a historic role." It's always great to hear about divorced parents who are still good friends, and Emhoff and his ex-wife are no exception. According to Marie Claire, Kirsten was supportive of Emhoff and has rooted for him and Harris. She admitted, "When Doug and Kamala first started dating and Kamala was Attorney General of California, I just thought, wow, that's cool, don't mess this up." Harris and Kirsten's relationship did not stop there. In her article for Elle magazine, Harris wrote about their special bond with Emhoff's kids, saying, "To know Cole and Ella is to know that their mother Kirsten is an incredible mother. Kirsten and I hit it off ourselves and are dear friends. She and I became a duo of cheerleaders in the bleachers at Ella's swim meets and basketball games, often to Ella's embarrassment. We sometimes joke that our modern family is almost a little too functional." To top off a really great relationship, Kirsten offered her creative expertise and connections to Harris and her presidential bid. When Harris announced her bid for the presidential nomination, Emhoff announced his leave of absence from law firm DLA Piper. As noted by the New York Times, Emhoff was admitted to the Washington, D.C. bar in 2017, prompting speculation that he would dedicate more time on the East Coast. His leave of absence came when the ethics of DLA Piper and Emhoff's affiliation was worrying some legal experts, especially if Harris was going to win the vice presidency. But Bob Shrum, a Democratic advisor, told the publication that the Biden-Harris campaign most likely reviewed Emhoff's choice to take a step back from his firm. Shrum explained, "I have no doubt that a Biden-Harris administration would look at this issue very carefully and would impose rules that would ensure that there was no conflict of interest." Emhoff's leave of absence is, of course, all under the guise that he continues to be Harris's biggest fan. Emhoff has spoken about Harris's bid for office and the joys of the trail. Harris was a historic candidate, and the couple has gotten to travel the country. In 2019, before she dropped out and became Joe Biden's vice presidential pick, he told the Associated Press, "This is a new experience for Kamala and me, but our family is having so much fun crossing the country and meeting people from every walk of life. It's amazing to see so many people get to know the Kamala I love. and I can't wait for every American to get that chance when she's president. When it was announced that Harris would be joining Joe Biden's ticket, Emhoff was ecstatic for his wife and went to social media to express his support. Along with a video posted on Instagram of himself with Harris and the Bidens, he wrote, "Elbow bumping to victory. We can't wait to see Joe and Jill again at the convention. We're going to do this. Hashtag Biden-Harris 2020. Emhoff has been out on the campaign trail promoting the Biden-Harris ticket with unwavering support ever since.
I really just want to focus on winning this election.
Per all major media outlets, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris ended up winning the White House in the 2020 election.
The President-elect of the United States of America, Joe Biden.
And Emhoff will become the first second gentleman. No woman has ever occupied the highest political positions in the executive branch, and Emhoff will essentially write the rules for every man to follow. Chasten Buttigieg, former Democratic presidential candidate Pete Buttigieg's husband, befriended Emhoff while on the trail and told the Washington Post about what the role might look like for Harris's husband as he enters the White House. Chasten said, "There's so much pressure on you to try to meet everyone's standard." When asked to give Emhoff advice, Chasten put it simply, all he has to do is be himself. It seems like Emhoff will have no trouble continuing his support for Harris. He's already set the husband bar pretty high. Chasten added, "You have to be there to take the weight of the day and make it go away. That's a really big service when you're the husband of the Vice President of the United States. That's a job in and of itself." Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more list videos about your favorite stuff are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.